Hey guys, who is up for an extreme grocery budget challenge for the entire month of February? Yes, we are going to tackle Frugal February this February, where I'm going to limit our grocery budget to teeny tiny little amount to make me get back to the point where I'm being frugal with what I'm purchasing, using up all the things that we already have on hand. I'm thinking about those really cheap, easy, healthy meals, and at the end of the day, if I can rein that grocery budget back in, then we're going to have some more cash that we can throw towards whatever it is that we want to do. So if you guys are new around here and we haven't had the chance to hang out before, my name is Nikki. I'm an Aussie mum, and I do love sharing all of the tips and tricks that have helped our family not only budget better, but demolish all of our debt and skyrocket our savings. We did pay off all of our consumer debt. Was over $70,000, and we did that in 2 years. We were still on a pretty basic wage at that point too. So since that point, we've gone on to saving an emergency fund, saving up, buying our car and our caravan with cash, and all of those sorts of good things. But we still apply all of those principles that we learned way back when we were going through our debt payoff, and we're still implementing all of those things now so that we can still get more bang for our buck, so we can live the life we want. So for us, that is traveling around Australia full time, which is what we're doing at the moment. But even when you're traveling, some people treat it as a holiday. We don't. We think we need to stretch every penny, every dollar as far as we can so that we can get even more time and more enjoyment on the road. We like living this way. We don't find it a chore. In fact, I actually like the challenge of doing these extreme grocery budget challenges where I have to think about what I'm buying, think about the meals that I'm making, and finding ways to scrimp and save and take a little bit extra, because if I can rein in that grocery budget even just a little bit, then that's some more money that we've got to play with. You could throw it at debt if you're still in that phase. You could throw it towards your emergency fund, or paying off your house, or saving up for a holiday, or doing whatever else it is that you would like to do with that. So today we're going to start Frugal February, which is something that I've just completely come up with myself. I know a lot of people do Frugal February, but I'm creating my own challenge with my own rules. I'm not following anybody else's rules. So that's going to be my number one rule, is that I don't have to follow anybody else's rules. I'm going to do this my way, and I'm going to have fun with it. So the goal for us is to limit our grocery budget for the month of February to $25 per person per week. So that gives our family of 3 a grocery budget of $75 a week. But I'm going to take it one step further than that, and if I can actually get it closer to about $50 a week, then I'm going to put that extra $25 towards something fun. So I'm really setting myself the challenge. I am allowing myself to use the things that I already have on hand. Now, I have not gone and done a little bit of a cheeky sneaky and stocked up my pantry and my freezer to make this month easier. We are starting with not too much in the caravan, but what I would consider fairly average for what we have, the things that are in bulk that we just sort of stock rotate through. I haven't changed that, and I'm not going to pretend those things don't exist. They are there and they need to be used up, but it is going to help me rein that grocery budget challenge that I've set for myself, and hopefully save somewhere between the $75 limit that I've set and my $50 goal, which is what I'm aiming for. So what does that mean? It means that anything that is in my fridge, my freezer, and my pantry are all fair game in this little challenge. I do have things like sauces and spices and condiments and all of that sort of stuff that I'm going to use because they're there, and I may as well. And I will be utilizing the things that are in my pantry, like I said, that I keep in bulk. But as the month goes on, obviously all of those supplies that I started with are going to dwindle, and what I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to do is still continue to buy some things in bulk, which will roll over to future weeks, and I'll be able to keep doing my little system using up the things that I have in the pantry and the freezer, supplementing with some new items each week, and just buying what we need. So if that sounds like something that you would like to join in with, then that would be super awesome. Let me know in the comments if you want to join in with a Frugal February challenge of your own. You can set your own limit, whatever you think will work with your family, whatever your own rules in. Basically, the aim of the game would be to try rein in your grocery budget a little bit and save some money. And if that doesn't sound like anything that you're interested in doing, or maybe you're already at a bare bones budget and you just can't squeeze any more out of it, then hopefully you'll join us along for the ride, have a little bit of fun, a little bit of entertainment, see what we get up to, maybe see a new recipe or something that you haven't seen before, or just laugh at the fact that we've set ourselves a goal that is far too ridiculous for us to achieve, and hopefully it just doesn't all go pear-shaped, but you guys will be along for the ride for a bit of entertainment anyways. So before I get started and head to the supermarket, what I am going to do is show you guys what I've already got on hand. I will write down a list of all the stuff that I have that I can use, brainstorm a few ideas and some meals that we can come up with, and then we're going to go and hit the supermarket and go and get some supplies. So when I turn this around, we'll go and check out and see what we've got in the fridge, the freezer, and the pantry, and then we'll come up with a bit of a meal plan. Okay, so in the freezer we do have some goodies that we are going to be working with this week. I do have some frozen fruit. Over the back there I've got some frozen tofu and some tempeh, some koftas down there, a few bits and pieces like frozen onion, some more frozen fruit, that's banana, some falafels, lots of things still going on in the freezer to use up. And in the fridge we have our usual assortment of bits and pieces, but I do have a few things that I'm going to use up this week as well. So I do have quite a bit of celery, so tops are in this container. I do have the stalks in this container. I've got some odds and ends in here to use up, some mushrooms, a zucchini, some fresh spinach. There are still a couple of apples, tomato, some bits and pieces in there. And I do have some bananas as well, but bananas are a good price at the moment. So I'll be using these in some baking as well as having these for snacks. And of course, all of the usual condiments and sauces and bits and pieces that are all going to be up for grabs. And in the pantry we have all of the usual suspects, or all the usual sort of stuff for us. So some breakfast cereal, some oats down in there, but primarily what I'm looking at in here is proteins and things that I have. So I do have a couple of jars of sauces. There's some pickles, but mostly things like I have edamame, I have some jackfruit, I have some cannellini beans that looks like corn right down the back there, so some creamed corn, TVP, textured vegetable protein there. That's the sort of stuff that I'm going to be relying on this week, I think, because I do have lots of protein. So lentils, black beans, lots and lots of lentils, chickpeas. As you guys can see there, I've got bags and bags of beans and peas and lentils. So be building lots of meals around that. Some pasta, a little bit of rice but not much, and some polenta by the looks of things, and of course all the different, I do have some self-raising flour and things like white vinegar and some dressings. The next thing I'm going to do is actually jump online and have a look at Coles and Woolies and see if there's anything in particular on special that is going to encourage me to shop at one or the other store. Looking at the types of things that are going to be on sale this week, I think we're going to go and shop at Coles, just because there's a couple of things that I know that I can go and pick up from there, and I think that I'm going to be able to make a good variety of meals. But realistically, I'm probably going to be looking at very similar main ingredients each week, just trying to come up with different meals and creations using similar sort of things. So I'm going to be looking at rice and pasta. Yes, I know that's a little bit cliche and boring, but here's the thing, they're cheap and they're filling and they're quick and easy meals to do. I'll also be having a look at frozen veggies. I think frozen veggies are great. If you can eat fresh, then that's awesome. But frozen stuff for us, it keeps quite well. We do have to be mindful of how much room we actually have in the fridge. We do have some freezer space that we can utilize as well. But also frozen stuff is frozen stuff is picked when it is in peak season. It's picked and it's frozen and then it's stored frozen. So I mean, I don't think frozen stuff is really that bad. Then we'll look at utilizing perhaps tin stuff depending on what we're able to get with our fresh and our frozen, trying to keep within our $50 budget. So the ideas that I've come up with, which is going to be more than what I'm going to cook in 1 week, but a bunch of different ideas that is going to get me started looking at what I've already got on hand and thinking about what I'm going to be able to pick up from Coles this week. So these are the ideas that I have come up with, and if you guys have been around for a while, you will notice this is not my handy dandy notebook. I think I've left it in the car, and Shannon and Charlotte have gone out to do a couple of errands and I don't have my handy dandy notebook. So I've had to just jot down a whole heap of ideas in this random notebook, and then I will transfer it over to my other one that I do all this sort of stuff in. But basically I'm looking at the fact that I've got a lot of lentils and beans, so I'm thinking things like curries, a lentil and coconut rice, and then the veggies and stuff that I can put with it. So these are the ideas that I've just literally brain dumped as I've been going through and having a look at what's in the fridge, freezer, and the pantry. Baked tofu with rice, roasted carrots, and green beans. I know that green beans are always a good price in the freezer, and I should be able to get some carrots for a decent price. And so again, lentils with coconut rice with roasted carrots and beans. I like to try and double up. If I'm going to use an ingredient in one recipe, how can I use it in another? So you will see overlapping ideas here. A curry with carrots and spinach. I will need some coconut milk for that. A chili with rice, black beans, tomato, corn, spinach. But if I do a chili, then I can probably do some jacket potatoes, so I can do a bulk cook and have some leftovers. Spaghetti bolognese is always a winner and is a super cheap and easy and quick to come up with. We could do our poor man's fried rice with carrots and peas and potato, and either some tofu or that TVP. If I'm going to grab some potatoes, I can do mash and veg, jacket potatoes, baked beans and veggies on some homemade bread. And if I'm going to do homemade bread, we can have that for snacks. And if I'm going to get carrots, and I can probably do some carrot muffins as snacks as well. So that's just a bit of a brain dump. Let's go and hit the supermarket and see what we can actually find. And this is my first little grocery haul for our Frugal February challenge. Today I spent $48.84. So I did come in under my $50 budget. We'll see how we go with this. Hopefully we can get through the week with this and the other stuff that we already have on hand. But if not, I still have some change left in my budget for this week. So I can pop back to the supermarket if need be. All right, let me talk you through what we have picked up. I have a large container of quick oats. This is primarily going to be breakfast for the week. And as always, I will put the prices up on the screen for you guys. I've picked up 2 containers of soy milk, regular price at Coles. I have a large tin of passata. This one is actually the flavoured one, so it does have a few herbs and spices in it, other than just the plain one. I have 2 kilos of plain flour. I have 2 kilos of white rice. I have 2 tins of coconut milk. I have the large 800-gram tin of diced tomatoes. 2 packets of tofu. They are, what are they? 300 grams each? I think they're 300 grams each. An 825 gram tin of peached slices. Bag of fettuccine pasta. Frozen chopped spinach. A 1.5 kilo bag of the I'm Perfect carrots. So this one at 1.5 kilos was $2.20. Regular old bag of carrots for a kilo, so half a kilo smaller of this, $2.40. So it's always worth checking out the I'm Perfect or the ugly fruit or whatever. Big bag of spuds. This is 4 kilos of potatoes, $6.50. A bag of frozen beans. These are both a kilo. Bag of frozen corn and about 1.8 kilos of bananas. There are 9 bananas here, so 3 days worth of bananas for us. $2.50 a kilo on the bananas, so this came in at about $4.50. So at this point I'm actually feeling pretty confident about this week coming up, which I don't know, might be my undoing, I'm not sure, but I think we've got a good selection of food on hand. I've got some good ideas of what I can do with it, and I think we've got all of our bases covered. So at this point we're looking at just having some sort of oats for breakfast. That's what we normally do, so we'll be doing overnight oats. I could even do a baked breakfast if that's what we were feeling like one day. I do have lots of bananas that are starting to get a bit older. They will be great to use in baking and cooking. Plus I bought all of those other bananas today as well, 9 of them, so that we can have those for snacks as well. Speaking of snacks, I'm happy to go and do some quick baking, so I will probably knock out a couple of lots of muffins. I could do some carrot and walnut muffins, or just some banana muffins, something pretty basic and straightforward. So I've got the flour and the oats and the bits and pieces to go in all of that, so that's awesome. I'm also going to have a go at making some homemade bread this week, so we'll be using that to supplement our meals, but also we can have that for some snacks, but looking more at having that for lunches and to go with some of the meals that we're going to have this week. As far as lunches goes, it will be a lot of leftovers because that is typically what we do anyways. I usually cook a meal that has about 6 serves in it, so we'll have half for dinner and then we'll save half for lunch the next day. But I will cook up some more lunch specific meals that will be ready to go, that are transportable for us. So for example, if we were going to do spaghetti bolognese, that's probably not something that I would take with us on one of the days that we are out and about. But if I do something like the lentil and coconut rice with the roast veggies in it, then that's great cold the next day. So I do need to think a little bit about our meals and how they're going to work for lunches, just working in with our schedule basically. And then I've got a variety of different dinners to choose from throughout the week. Now, like I said, I think I've actually got more than a week's worth of ideas here, which is great. I believe that I have all of the ingredients to do all of these things, so I may actually be able to set myself up for next week and have some things ready to go in the freezer. Maybe I am getting a little bit too ambitious, who knows? Let's see how we go. Like I said earlier though, I still do have a little bit of cash up my sleeve this week, so if we want to go and get some extra fruit, that is probably what I would use that extra money for. We don't eat meat or dairy, so if you guys are new around here, you might not know that. If you guys have been around here for a little while, you know that we don't really eat a lot of meat and dairy, so I haven't included that. But if you were following along at home and you had a little extra cash left over like we do, then you might want to look at getting some extra markdowns. If there was some markdown meat or something at the supermarket, you could use that extra little allocation and get some extra stuff, put it in the freezer, and then that'll set you up for next week as well. But I'm going to see how we go with the fruit that we have on hand, which isn't a lot, but doing some baking and having some snacks and focusing more on filling up on our main meals and not snacking quite so much. And then we'll see how we go, and hopefully I will actually be able to pocket that extra money that I've got and not have to go back and spend some more. But that is our thinking at this point, and we're going to see how we go. So if you'd like to see the meals that I pull together, then I hope you will join us on Sunday, and I will update you guys with a cook with me video with some of the things that we've been cooking up this week, the meals that I've been making. And if you would like to follow along with our little Frugal February challenge, then that would be super awesome as well. Let me know in the comments if you guys are game, if you want to do an extreme grocery budget challenge for the month of February. Like I said earlier, you guys set your own rules, set your own words. Why aren't you coming out? Set your own parameters. That was tough. Don't know why that one didn't want to come out of my mouth today, but anyways, set the grocery budget that you feel comfortable with and that will work for you. Remembering we are now just a family of 3. Our 2 older children have moved out of the nest, so it's just a little baby still at home with us, so that does make things a little bit easier to get down to quite a low grocery budget. And also considering where you are and what you have access to, like all of those things need to come into consideration when you're talking about sort of setting up these challenges. So you do you, set your own rules, blaze your own path. That's what I believe. Anyways, well, there you have it, Frugal February. I'm actually pretty excited about it at this point. I was a little bit nervous a couple of hours ago when I came up with this idea, but anyways, let's see how we go. If you enjoyed today's video, if you like the idea of doing a Frugal February with me, then I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, if you could please give it a thumbs up. As always, I really do appreciate it. It does let me know the kind of content you guys are enjoying and what you'd like to see more of. And if you'd like to see more stuff like this, or if you'd like to see the meals that we cook up as part of this frugal living experiment that we're going to do this month, then I do hope you consider hitting that little subscribe button down below. Don't forget to tick that little bell so you can be notified when my new videos come out. And I will have a cook with me video coming out every Sunday in February, showing you guys the meals that we are coming up with on our little teeny tiny budget and using up all the things that we already have on hand in the fridge, freezer and the pantry. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week. I hope you are having a fabulous start to February. Hope you're excited about doing Frugal February and reining in your grocery budget. And I hope to catch up with you on Sunday with our Cook With Me video. So until then, take care, my friends, and we'll chat soon. Bye.